Hi guys, the Batch Lady here. Usually I show you how to make fast, simple, homemade meals that you can make in advance, put in your freezer and use whenever you want. But today I'm not actually cooking. Today I want to tell you all about the different ways that you can defrost food. The safe ways that you should defrost food, the unsafe ways that you should definitely not defrost food, and how some some defrosting hacks that will make it go a whole lot quicker. So lots of us love to use our freezers. It's a fantastic thing to do. It means that you've constantly always got meals at the ready, but you have to remember and defrost them, okay? So in terms of defrosting, there's a few different things that you can do. You can defrost something in your fridge. So here I've got a meal that's obviously been frozen flat. Now, if I want to defrost that in the fridge, you need to make sure that you're going to put it in a dish that's big enough that as the water starts to come off it, because you will have excess water come off, you want to make sure that it's enough that it can contain that water. You don't want to just put a piece of kitchen roll and put it in your fridge, because sometimes some meals have a lot of excess water that come out of them and it's just going to run all over your fridge. So if you're defrosting something in your fridge, always make sure that it's in a dish like this, okay? The government recommendations say do not defrost anything on your countertop, okay? So a lot of people do. I admit that I am used to doing it as well from the past. The government guidelines are that it should always defrost in the fridge. Now, if you're defrosting something in the fridge, it's going to take a long time because it's coming out of the freezer cold, it's going into your fridge which is still cold, so it can sometimes take days to defrost, okay? So there's a really simple way that you can do this. One, you can use a rapid defrosting tray that, I don't know if you've seen these, but they're not brilliant, okay? So I would say probably stay clear of them. They do defrost quite quick, but I can't quite work out whether they're that safe or not to use. So you could use a defrosting tray. Lots of people have commented about them. They're big in America. I would say I can't really see the benefits of it, but what I can see the benefits of is defrosting in cold water. Okay, so I've just got a basin here. You want to make sure your basin is clean. It's filled with really cold water, and you can then, I've got a clip here, but you can use, you can clip it to anything, or you can get it to stand upright, because basically you take your meal, you put it in the water, and what you want to do is you just want to make sure that the top of it is not being submerged. Okay, and the reason is, just in case it's not 100% sealed, you don't want this water going in this meal. Okay, so even though it's very clean water, you don't want your water going in the meal at all. So I've just got a big sort of clip, and I'm just going to clip it like that. Or you can just stand it up with a few glasses round about it, just to make sure it's not going to fall over. Change your water every 30 minutes, and guaranteed in about 30 minutes this will already have been defrosted. Things defrost really well in freezing cold water, okay? So perfect thing to do. You can do it with chicken, you can do it with fish, you can do it with lots of stuff. Works really, really well. Another quick top tip I've got for you is if you want to defrost something that, say, is a big joint of meat or some chicken breast or something like that, and you want to use a cold water method, which works perfectly, it makes things defrost really quickly, then you probably want to use like these large IKEA bags. Now you're just washing and reusing. I tend to keep one bag, it's the same bag that I use all the time for this. And what you want to do is make sure that it is watertight before it goes in that water, okay? So these bags are great for it. Where the bag that it came from in the butcher's may not be watertight, so you don't want water getting on the actual product. You want to make sure that everything that's going in your cold water is in a sealed bag, okay? So that no water can get inside. So a great top tip for remembering to get things out of the freezer is to use your mobile phone. Put a timer on it that goes off whenever you're usually cooking dinner. So my timer goes off at 6 p.m. that says, take the meal for tomorrow out the freezer. Okay, I'm usually standing there with a meal like this that I'm actually just heating up, and I just walk over and take my next meal out and put it in a dish like this, let it defrost. Easiest way to remember. So timer on your mobile phone. Now, just very quickly as well, what I want to tell you is there are some meals that you can cook directly from frozen. So lots of fish, lots of meat-based things can cook directly from frozen. You do need to check each recipe and see what it says in general. And chicken can be cooked from frozen depending if it's been cooked before or not. in terms of what I tend to just say, just defrost your chicken. If you just stick by that rule, for me, it's much easier. I just defrost all chicken dishes rather than cooking them from frozen. Okay, now very quickly as well, to let you know, if you have taken out, say, a box of minced beef like this, okay, you've taken it out the freezer and you've defrosted it, as long as you cook it, so say I was making a spaghetti bolognese, as long as it's being cooked, I can refreeze that, okay? It can go back in the freezer. When it comes out, I'm then just making it again. If I had any leftovers, I cannot refreeze them or heat them back up again, okay? So you can take it out, make spaghetti bolognese, put it in the freezer, take it out of the freezer and eat it, but you're not putting any of it back in the freezer. The same if you've got a big sort of meat cut, you can defrost this, you can cook it. So this is a big piece of salmon silverside. You can cook it, you can then make other meals like stovies or sandwich fillings, or then you can slice it up, or you can leave it as a whole big bit and you can put it back in the freezer. Okay, so as long as you're taking it from uncooked to cooked, then you can refreeze it. If you take a meal out like this, you defrost it and then you find, oh, I haven't used it, can I put it back in the freezer? No, you can't do that, okay? So you want to make sure that you only take out the meals that you want to use when you actually need them. You get about 24 to 48 hours to use this meal once it's defrosted, so you want to make sure that you've had a really good think about what you want to take out. I hope you've enjoyed these top tips on defrosting and it's helped alleviate any worries that any of you ever have. Thanks for watching. Bye.